Welcome to the Broken King podcast. Today I'm going to be talking to my fathers. Fatherhood is a uniter when it comes to people, man. All races, religions, political uh, views, that goes out the window when we having a conversation about real life issues like fatherhood. And I'm a proud father, and I have seen the some highs and lows when it comes to my journey as a father. And so today I want to share to uh, first off the young fathers, and I want to say this: you got to make a decision right now that you are going to be locked in for the long run with your kids. Nothing about fatherhood is circumstantial. At the end of the day, we are assigned to these children that we brought into the world, and it is our duty to be in their lives and support them and help guide them through this thing called life. And so, duty and making that commitment early on that, hey, I'm here for the long run. It's not a matter of if this happens or if, uh, you know, the mother of your children is cooperative or if things are the way you would like them. It's a full time commitment that you make with yourself and you make to your kids. And regardless of the circumstance, you stay locked in the best way that you can. And even though, uh, some of us have fathers from not the best circumstances, you know, uh, regardless if you're in the same household with your children or if you're in another state or another country, there is still a way that you can maintain a relationship with your kids. And every father should be dedicated to that duty. And so, young fathers, congratulations on being a father, and just know that it's a commitment for life. Also, I want to say that if you're a young father and you're in a difficult situation when it comes to dealing with your child's mother or just your relationship with your kids, balancing it with your work life and everything else that you have going on. Uh, Fatherhood is a marathon, not a sprint, and so uh, endurance is going to be the number one trait that you're going to have as a father. You're going to have to endure good times and bad times. You're going to have to endure comfortable times, and you'll have to endure some uncomfortable times. And it's just all part of it. And so, if you know that out the gate early on, you know that you signed up for a lifelong commitment. You signed up for a marathon and not a sprint. Then you halfway got your mind right in order to be the man that your kids are gonna need you to be. So once again, congratulations. Welcome to the club. To the fathers that are raising kids, I salute you, and I can relate to every situation and scenario that you're going through. And I just want to say that just hang in there. Keep on keeping on. Keep doing what you know is right to do. And, whether or not it seems as if you're being appreciated the way you should, or if you're being almost taken for granted, just know that's another piece of the whole fatherhood thing. We don't always get the credit that we deserve, and that's not it's not a game changer for most men because we don't do it for credit. But human nature is uh, desires to be appreciated when you have given your all towards something, or when you have really worked hard towards providing and protecting and giving your kids opportunities maybe that you didn't even have. That those type of things uh, naturally will make you want to be appreciated. But a lot of times our efforts and appreciation that comes later on after the fact. When we're raising kids, man, we on a day-to-day basis, man, we just trying to make sure that they have what they need and that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing in school and whatever extracurricular activities you have them involved in. Um, I will say this: it's very important for us fathers to set structure in the household. And whether your kids live with you full time or not, when they are with you, it's important for us to enjoy that time, have a good time, but also use that time to teach our kids that in life you can't always do what you want to do. In life, there's many commitments and responsibilities that you're gonna have to take care of, and when you don't take care of your business, there's consequences. And so, as men, it's really, and this is not speaking for all men, of course, but I would say, as a general rule, men are more structure oriented when it comes to raising kids, and that's very important for our kids to have boundaries and to have responsibilities and to be expected to handle those responsibilities. And that depends on the age of your kids, of course. If you got really young kids, then they're not fully prepared to handle any real responsibility. So you start small, and gradually you load them with more responsibility. Of course, school is a responsibility, and I definitely want to reiterate the importance of our kids doing well in school, and us as fathers supporting them when it comes to academics. Education will take our kids further than any uh, athletic ability. Uh, for the rest of your life, you're gonna have to maneuver in this world and use your mind and use your education in order to make smart and wise decisions. And so, when it comes to money, or when it comes to just the workforce, even business decisions, uh, it's uh, it's important that our kids know how to read and write. And so we gotta reinforce that. If you have a child that's struggling uh, in school, it's important that you support them with whatever help they need and keep pushing them to do better. Very important. I see a lot of fathers, and we all in when it comes to the football field or the basketball court, and we are challenging our kids at a you know at an extreme level when it comes to those things. And then these same kids are not doing well in school, and the expectation is not nearly as high when it comes to academics. And I think we, as fathers, that's something that we can improve on as men, as men that are in our kids' lives and that are fathering our kids to the best of our abilities. Let's make sure that we are challenging our kids in the classroom and in with their schoolwork just as much, if not more, than the athletic playing field, because those academic, uh, the education will take you uh, a lot further. And I say that as a former football player myself. I really, at one point in time, thought that football was what I was created to do, and then I realized, uh, that even if you were to be the best football player of all time, you'll probably be retired before the age of 40. And so, you have uh, the rest of your life to live with no longer even having that identity. And so, we all ex athletes can tell you that eventually the playing field is over for all of us, and then real life uh, really just begins. And so, we all want to make sure that our kids, even if they are very talented athletically, they have a education to fall back on. It's very important. Another thing along with structure is discipline. Depending on your relationship with your children's mother and what type of parent she might be, uh, that role of the parent that brings the discipline is typically handled by the men, handled by the fathers. And even if it's not a even if your wife or your children's mother is more of a disciplinarian, it's very important also for fathers to be that strong voice of not only reason but of reinforcing that consequences happen when you make bad decisions in life. It's not just so that we can keep our house in order, but it's also a training ground for our kids to be able to understand that in this world, you're going to have to listen to somebody. In this world, you're going to have to play by the rules. In this world, you're going to have to handle your business or there's consequences. There's not so good consequences when you go out into the real world without discipline. And so that doesn't mean that we have to be drill sergeants when it comes to our kids, but we definitely should be setting a tone that in this house there are rules. In this house, uh, we have a good time, we enjoy our home, we laugh, we do everything that a family should do to enjoy a Friday night or to enjoy just being together. But there are boundaries that we're not gonna cross in here, or it's gonna be a problem, right? We should be enforcing discipline with our kids. We should be teaching our kids that it's not okay to talk to adults the same way they talk to a friend, especially a young kid. We should be teaching our kids that uh, right from wrong and how to act. That's on us as men. We have to do that. And so, these are building principles, when it comes to raising children, raising kids from, you know, being young, whether it's a baby to the toddler age to now you in school, now you in elementary, middle school, high school. As they come up, we should be loading them with more responsibility. We should be fine tuning them as far as discipline, so they know how to act, so they know how to speak to authority, how to listen to authority, right? All those things. And this is not in any kind of order because the next topic that I want to hit on is probably the most important. And I think it's the most important thing that you can do for your kids is share with them the importance of a relationship with God and building their spiritual life. That should start early. And uh, you know, there are people that would disagree with that. We living in a world now where people believe that the kids should just be able to grow up and think whatever they want to think, do whatever they want to do, and that's their right to creativity. But I don't believe that at all. I completely disagree with that whole mind frame, it doesn't make sense at all to me, because we have to teach a kid literally how to do everything. We teach a kid how to eat. We teach eat by themselves. We teach a kid how to we have to potty train our kids. Why would we let our kids just why would we just assume that our kids know and are going to figure things out when we can teach them? With all the years of experience that, an adult male would have, you should have plenty to teach a kid. And this is a big one. That relationship with God, especially for me, has been everything for me. See, as fathers, we also have to recognize that we're not going to always be there with our kids. They are, once they grow, even when they start going to school, they're going to be at school, and we're not going to be around. When they grow up, they leave the house. We're not going to be around. We are not going to always be there to save our kids, to protect our kids, to to tell our kids which way to go, right? That is something that has to be uh given over to God. And so the earlier that you can start teaching your kid about uh God and the importance of having a relationship with them for yourself, right? Teaching your kids how to pray, teaching your kids how, giving them examples of how God has helped you in your life. Though that relationship between your children and God is going to outlive your relationship with your children. And so that's an investment that we have to make into our kids' life, and that's the time to show them and teach them about God and teach them how to build a relationship with God for themselves. And they're gonna need it. We living in a wild, wild world, and it's danger on every corner. And you don't have to be looking for trouble. Trouble is out looking for somebody all day, every day. And so, uh, you know, as far as we got to stay prayed up, man. Not only for ourselves and our kids, and you know what I'm saying. Every part of our life we should be praying about. And when we get to that level, we have to teach our kids how to do the same thing, and that's a cheat code. At the end of the day, the same way he's taking care of you and me, he can take care of the kids that you have. And no matter what circumstance that you are in or that your kids are in, it's nothing that's too tough for God. It's nothing that God can't turn around. It's nothing that God can't fix. And so, for me personally, that trust has helped me through a lot of tough situations in my early years of fatherhood. I had early on, I did not have a ideal uh, fathering relationship with my oldest son. And I say that because he was not always, I was a non-custodial parent. So I was a single dad, and I would see my son on the weekends. And so although I saw my son every weekend, it still wasn't ideal for me because I wanted to be with my son, of course, every day. But, during the challenges of that time, I just kept praying and drawing closer to God about all of my frustration, all of my challenges, and, just the whole, I mean, everything I was dealing with, man, trying to get my life together, trying to get my money up so that I can, better support my son. Um, these were things that I had to learn to really just depend on God to work out. And, over time, he definitely did. He was faithful in bringing me to a place of comfort with whatever time I got with my son. And, eventually I would have three more kids, so I have four children now. And I've learned to grow that faith from that place when it was very tough to a place to where when things were a little bit more ideal, I still have a heavy reliance on God helping me navigate fatherhood. And so uh, that's a pivotal thing for me when I'm sharing with you guys, and I want you to understand that like this is a real cheat code. God can help you with this thing called fatherhood. God can guide you through this thing called fatherhood. God can make you mentally tough and mentally able to sustain whatever challenges that you are dealing with in relationship with your children or your children's mother. God is who you want to lean and depend on. Okay. Um, and so, yeah, I just want to encourage, I can't encourage you enough to build that relationship and then help build that relationship with your children. It's very, very important. And so, and for the fathers out there that have adult kids, I am recently in the club. I've recently joined the club of fathers with grown kids. I have a son in college. My oldest son is in college. I got three babies at the house. And I say babies, they're not babies. But, anyways, it's a whole different dynamic when you're talking about adult kids because we're talking about a different phase in life. I'm no longer disciplining my oldest son because he's an adult. He's uh, now fully responsible for his actions and for his responsibilities and taking care of the things he's supposed to do. And when he doesn't, those consequences are on him. And so it's much more of a support and encouraging position, right? I'm still teaching. I still, give them, give them some game for, how to handle situations. I give them some game on life and people and friends and all these other things. But it's more so a position of watching, supporting, and encouraging. Also reminding him of his foundation. I think that's key for any father that has an adult child. Sometimes we have to remind our kids of who they are, what they come from, what they've been taught, what they know, right? Sometimes we have to be that reminder to get them back rooted and grounded in the way they were raised. All the time supporting them, all the time encouraging them. The discipline part is it's not as much my job no more. That was I put that work in a long time ago, teaching them right from wrong, punishing them, whatever punishment was necessary for whatever you didn't did. But as an adult man, I'm just rooting for him and supporting him and wishing him the best and encouraging him. And when needed, reminding him of who he is, what what the greatness that's in him, the things that he's good at, right? These things are what a parent has to do when they have an adult child. And so I really get into sharing when I'm talking. So yeah, with adult kids, it's a whole different role, man. But we still got to be locked in. We still got to be there. We still got to support. We still got to show up. We still got to we got to do what we do. And so it's been a journey, man. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm pretty sure that all of the fathers out there can relate. It's fulfilling, even though it can be tough, even though it can be challenging, even though it can be frustrating, even though it can seem like you're not getting nowhere with them. Keep planting them seeds. Keep planting them seeds. It's duty. We talked about it at the beginning. It's duty. Fatherhood, when you bring a child into this world, you have a duty and an obligation, and you have to make that commitment out the gate because it ain't gonna be easy. If you go about this thing feeling it through, seeing how it goes, you gonna probably quit. You gonna probably throw in the towel when it get tough, right? You gotta have the right mind frame in order to be a great father. And I can tell you, it's just a choice. Any man listening to me right now can make that choice to be a great father. And that does not mean a perfect father. You can be a Hall of Fame caliber father, and that does not mean that you hadn't thrown an interception and you haven't missed a tackle or dropped a pass. The reality is, it's all about the full body of work. It's about the years and years of showing up and being there and 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 doing the best that you can, giving 100%, right? That's what it's all about. That's the name of the game. Fully committed, giving 100% and dedicated forever for life, right? Not like how, the rappers talk about whatever label for life and then, they break up and then they hate each other and they beef. And I'm talking about for life, for real, uh, not circumstantial, right? They your kids. They belong to you. They come through you. They are assigned to you. So you have to make this commitment. You should make this commitment. Let me restate that because uh unfortunately there are men that don't make that commitment. And that's really the main difference between a man that's a good father and a man that's absent on the job. The commitment. We all face challenges, some tougher than others. At the end of the day, whomever you have children with, that was ultimately your decision to be with that person. And so nobody is an innocent bystander when it comes to fatherhood and, having that responsibility. You earned it if you are the father. You know what I'm saying? You earned that. And so, we gotta man up, and if that person is hard to deal with, that the mother of your children is hard to deal with, okay. That's not a okay. That's who you decided to have a child with. So okay, you gotta deal with it. You gotta man up and handle your business, right? For your kids. Because they need you. They need you and you need them. Another part about this life cycle and how this fatherhood thing goes is that, at some point in time, your kids will be adults, right? And then later in life, you will, we will become older and our kids are going to have to help us like we help them, right? They're going to be the ones checking on us and making sure we good and making sure that, we're taken care of, right? That's how it's supposed to be. So, you would be shocked to know how many men that were absent and did not handle their responsibility as a father that later in life uh really grew to regret that decision because later in life they wanted support and love from their kids. And if you've been absent and you didn't care and you didn't try, it's gonna be a hard fight winning them over to want to have a relationship with you when you want them, when you want that relationship. right? So man, it's so many, it's lifelong repercussions if we don't handle this business. So no matter what you're going through, stay locked in. Don't be discouraged. Any challenges you facing, pray about it. That's the cheat code. Keep God in the mix with your situation. And then trust and do the best that you can. And you'll be a Hall of Fame father. I guarantee it. Hey man, it's Big D, man. I'm gonna sign off. Y'all be blessed. Peace.